May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. We're doing something a little different this week. No futures analysis in this video. Not this video. This video, we're just going to have Forex, FX brokers, all right? Specifically TVC for the US dollar index, and then we're going to be looking at Forex.com. All right, their data. We're just doing FX brokers today, and for people that just follow through, not follow, but trade on the FX brokers sites and the CFDs and all. This video is for you. We're doing actual Euro USD, Pound USD, Aussie USD, NZDUSD, USDCAD, USD Swiss, USD JPY or Japanese yen. And we'll take a peek at the euro. One cross pair, we're sneaking it in, EURJPY. And we're going to be looking at the S&P on the CFDs, the NASDAQ, and the US dollar 30 or the Dow. And then we're going to look at gold and silver on Forex.com and oil. Okay, we're not looking at Bitcoin today. Okay, so that's what I'm looking forward to doing today for you. All right, let's clean that up. And first thing we're going to look at is the economic calendar. Again, this is EST time, EST, all right, because I live in the USA on the East Coast. All right, we have a bank holiday all day for the yen for Monday. All right, it's just going to be a low volume kind of day, generally speaking. CPI for the Aussie dollar, US dollar, we have some consumer confidence there. That's not going to, that's none of these, none of the ones I'm going to mention are high impact news events that could possibly potentially reverse the market, like CPI data, like the FOMC, like non-farm payroll, not like interest rate decisions. Those are high impact and could reverse the markets, and you want to be careful on those days, real careful. With the ones that I'm mentioning now, US dollar unemployment, GDP, and that's on Thursday and Friday. We have core PCE, which is what the Fed uses to the Federal Reserve uses to kind of monitor and gauge inflation rates, and this helps them to better make informed decisions when it comes to our own interest rates here in the U.S. But there's some euro and CAD as well. So Thursday and Friday seem like those are going to be optimal days to trade. All right. So let's look at the US dollar index first. All right. First thing we're going to notice is, again, this large field. Sorry, this large field here. What am I doing? What's really going on? All right. This big field here is the area of supply that I've been talking about for the longest. And you can see that price has gone up. Wow, I gotta learn how to use this thing. I gotta go up, and we're reacting bearishly to it. All right, and we've been, pretty bearish since, and I've been bearish with the US dollar index, and that is going to continue this week. I have a bearish bias. I'm watching for the pullback into the supply zone. All right, we pulled into an area of supply that you'll see on the lower time frame, but I'm looking for price to continue bearish from it. All right, if we get a clearer look at the price action on the daily. All right, as we're looking at the daily, you can see that we had that crazy news items popping in with Trump and his policy making with tariffs and the threats of tariffs and what he's doing with the U.S. involvement in Ukraine and in Russia and oil and world markets and whatnot, and the reversing of policies that we had with prior administrations. So this is adding to a very volatile market. All right. So, but what we do notice is that price has continued down since February, the beginning of February, where we can see price has made lower lows and lower highs. And what I want you to pay special notice to, let me get off of that thing. That's driving me crazy. All right, what I want you to make special notice to is the buy up before the sell-off. All right, the buy up before the sell-off. All right, these are the areas that create fair value. Okay, and what I like to see is, like last week, you can see that I was looking for, if you remember, I called for last week's forecast that price would pull back into this large area of this fair value gap here, right? I want you to see it. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. All right. If I can just find it. All right. So, all right. And what we have here, what we have is price going into that fair value gap and then pushing down. And we hit our target, which was this low, this sell side liquidity low. I'm going to erase it now. But yay, we projected that. We forecasted it last week, and we hit it with a strong push to the downside on this past Thursday. Friday, we get a pullback, and it's doing exactly the same thing it's been doing. All right, buy up, sell. All right, buy up, sell. I'm looking for that buy up into this area where the buys start, and then we have that strong, sharp sell off. I'm looking for price to do exactly the same thing. So what am I doing? Let's get rid of this. All right. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm going to mark this area of fair value. All right. Where there is a buy up before a sharp sell off. And I'm looking for price to pull back into that area of fair value and give us more, another push to the downside. Okay. So that's my notes. Okay. I'm looking for that pullback, as you see here. Sorry. Get rid of these things. Oh man. All right. I'm looking for, if I can just get it together today. I'm going to get it together. I promise. All right. I'm looking for that pullback, and I'm looking for price to turn around and take us down to the sell side liquidity. You can see that there is some low hanging fruit here, some an area where I think that price will find easy to get to these the lows of these candles. All right, and that is within this larger area of demand. But if you remember last week, I said price. I'm making note that price came in contact with this area of demand, which always gives potential that it could push higher from. Right, I'm looking for price to continue to eat through this area of demand and capture this low hanging fruit here as sell side liquidity as we head towards this low. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Now you see this red mark on this candle here. We've already taken that low. All right. We are making our way to it. Where I would definitely like to look harder to look harder at this area of demand is the midpoint, the consummate encroachment of this area of demand. I'm looking for price to close past that, because that gives us a strong indication that it will expose the low even further. So I am bearish in this market. Make no mistake about that. So what does that mean? That means the majors will tend to do the opposite. All right, like the Euro USD. Let's take them one by one. All right. If we pan out to the weekly, what we can see is the price is responding to that large area of demand, just like with the US dollar index. If I can just switch to it, all right, like the US dollar index, you can see that price is responding to that area of supply. All right, I'm looking for that area of demand to push price higher. Okay, and so far, so good. We have this area, price pushed higher, we pulled back, we respected the low here, respected that low, and price continued higher from it. Boom, boom, boom. What am I looking for? I'm looking for price to hit the low hanging fruit, the buy side liquidity here, heading up to the buy side liquidity there. All right. That's on the weekly. All right. If we look at next candle theory, right? How did the candle close? It closed well within the previous candle. All right, so I'm looking for price to, you see how price closed bearishly, but showed some respect here. All right, when I see the respect wicks, all right, as price pulls back into a previous candle body, I tend to want to see what's happening on the lower time frame. I go down one time frame, and we'll see, is there a fair value gap in here? Yes, there is. Was it respected? No, it was not. All right, price disrespected the bullish fair value gap in there on the daily, but respected the sell to buy area, this fair value area here, right? Price came down, tapped it, and pushed higher, creating another potential area of fair value. All right, we see the sell before the buy. I'm looking for price. You see how price gave us a pullback, and that showed some US dollar index. The US dollar gained some strength last week on what's going on in the fundamentally the news and all. But it just, all it did was made an impulsive move, and it corrected it into this area. All right, this is an area of fair value in my opinion, and I'm looking for price to push, possibly push higher here to the buy side liquidity area. All right, now you see this golden line here. All right, that is an area, what a bullish order block. All right, and this is the overall. Sorry, this is the overall area of fair value from, because this started to sell before the buy. All right, but I always go down to the or I refine it to the areas that, like, this would be a market structure shift. This would be the area where the order block starts. All right, the market structure shift signals that price is indicating that it wants to go higher. I'm waiting for a pullback. Once it breaks that high for the market structure shift, wait for price to come back into the bullish leg and continue higher, and it did that perfectly, almost to the pip. But we did not break that high on Thursday. All right, we have a pullback. I'm looking for that high to be broken between Monday and Tuesday. All right, I'm going to stress caution on Monday to my viewers. Wait, I would suggest you not jump into anything and wait until the market gives you, tips its hand which way it plans to go. But I'm thinking that it's going to go up, and I will wait patiently to get confirmations. If we break that low, if we break this low here, if we break this low here, then that will expose this, that'll expose this low. But as long as this low holds, I'm looking for further upside. 1, 2 targets. Okay. Let's look at the pound USD. Pound USD, very similar story. We don't need to go through everything. All right, but what I want you to see is on the weekly, look how the candle closed. It pushed higher. It took the high of the previous candle, and closed right at the edge of the trading range of that previous candle. Does that mean we're going up higher, or or do you expect this high to be taken? When price closed back within the range of the previous candle, uh, it usually indicates that we'll probably get some follow through, bearish follow through on the next candle. All right, but this one closed right along the line, so it's not really indicating a strong intention either way. All right, but I have a bullish bias. I watch for a potential bounce at the demand zone. There's some areas of demand here that you will see a little clearer on the daily. And what do we have here? You can see price. You can see the strength in the pound as price. What do you call it? Come on, man! You're supposed to write now. Why isn't it writing? Okay, I don't know what that was about. All right, so we have this consolidation, and then we break that consolidation with a lovely impulsive move. We pull back and then break that high. That is a market structure shift for me. And this is actually, as price is breaking this particular high, all right, that is a strong indication of bullishness as price kind of pulled back and then went even higher on it. So it was like a double down, right? If I can just find, thank you. All right, so the indication is it's bullish. Now, as long as this, no, I don't want to use that. As long as this low here holds, I'm looking for higher prices off of this demand zone. You can see it's an obvious demand zone here as price sells off and then buys. All right, we have a sell and a strong buy up. All right, and it broke that high. I'm looking, and you see the retracement, just like in the Euro USD. So pound is moving a little stronger, and I'm looking for this to hold. As long as this low holds, I'm looking for higher prices. What was going on here? All right, I'm looking for higher prices. All right, if this low breaks, there is a fair value gap right below it, right at the consolidation, and it's not out of the question for a price to pull back into it and then go higher from there. I'm keeping my eye out for either one. All right, as you can see by these arrows. So I don't panic if it goes past this, if it goes past that low. All right, because there's support below. All right, and this is an area again of fair value. All right, what do you mean by that? All right, there are sellers and buyers were able to participate equally in this move and within this price. All right, this price range. All right, when price comes back to those areas, it usually acts as support or resistance and allows price to move and continue in the general direction it left that area in the in the first place. So in this case, it's a bullish move, and price continued bullishly. That's what a fair value area is. All right, and you look for the demand zones and supply zones inside of those areas of fair value, so that we can get more precision. When price pulls back into those areas, we'll know where that level is that it could find support to push higher. Okay. All right. So we're bullish there as well. Aussie dollar. Some don't find this one as obvious. I do. I don't know if that's good or bad. All right. We have an obvious area of consolidation here. All right, price kind of moves sideways. We swept the lows, then we sweep the highs, and then we swept the lows again, just to make sure we can shake out all those people that were early to take buys here after it took this low here. All right, and the market makers, that's how they work. All right, they shook them out. Stop lost them. Sorry, and then we broke structure to the upside. That's why that dotted line is there. This was a change in a shift in the market here, and we have this area of fair value, the sell before the buy. All right, and we have an order block here. We also have that market structure shift. All right, and we closed above it. That's very important to point out. It wasn't just a wick above, and then we have business to take care of lower prices. No, price sustained the move and then went higher with it, just like with the other ones, the pound and the euro. All right, now what do we have? What do we have for price? This pullback, watch, this pullback was stronger in the Aussie dollar. All right, do we see this low holding? Well, I'm expecting it. I have a reasonable expectation for that low to hold. Why? Because I need to get a little bit more precise here. Let me see. I want blue. All right. What happens is you look for fair value gaps like this one, all right, to beget, all right, to make new fair value gaps. This one, because it didn't leave room for a fair value gap to develop, you know, that's not a bullish indication. That's actually the opposite, but doesn't, you know, we're not going to jump to conclusions. There is a sell before the buy here, all right, and I'm looking for price to pull back into that buying area, that buy zone, to continue higher. All right. And right below that is a day of a weekly area of what is that? A fair value gap there on the weekly. All right, which price came into. All right. What am I expect? Why am I expecting price to continue higher? Because the structure in place. I don't have the greatest confidence because it pulled back so far, but what we could see is price find the support to continue higher from here. But if it doesn't, if it uses that low as sell side liquidity to come back into this area where price broke out from, well, that would suit me just fine, because I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you on the weekly. All right, you can see we have an opposing candle here, which is why that golden line is, because this is our order block, and if price comes back to tap into that opposing candle, this is where you find your support. This is where you usually find your support, and price can continue higher from there. And so I'm very confident there is a fair value gap here. We have the market structure shift, which intersects that area of the fair value gap. So I'm looking for price to continue higher from this area. If it comes back to take that low, that works out just perfect. All right, it comes back to take that low from last week's low. What do you call it? The previous weekly low. All right, good, because I'm looking for price to find its support for a higher price. I hope you understood that. I made it sound like gobbledygook, but I'm thinking that you were able to follow. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. May raid Thursday low, which is this low. All right, and tap the weekly fair value gap and then move higher. So this is what I'm looking for. If we take that low, fine. If we don't, that's fine too, because on the lower time frames, the 4 hour and 1 hour, if we can see price turning around in this area, all right, we can see higher prices from. Just let Monday go and we'll be able to see it. All right. If we look at the New Zealand dollar, all right, the New Zealand dollar here is it's looking pretty much like the Aussie dollar. Can you see it? Can you see it? Oh, can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Very close. All right. But the New Zealand dollar didn't pull back as much. There's more strength here. So I'm definitely looking for price to move higher from there. All right, we don't have to go through the whole thing. The first low-hanging fruit for buy-side liquidity is at 57728, and the next one would be here at 57930. All right, just watch for price to pull back and then go higher. This is going to be our line of demarcation. All right, very close, much closer on the on the Aussie dollar, much closer. So this line here is our line of demarcation. Okay. So if it goes past that, then we'll probably be heading towards this low here. All right. We hit an external. We've hit external range liquidity. I'm looking for price to pull back into internal range liquidity, and that is a fair value gap or an order block. Got it? And that's what we're looking for. All right. Let's look at US dollar CAD, something different. All right. If we go to the weekly, all right, you can see this long area. Sorry, this area here. Lots of consolidation, but price found a way to push higher a couple of weeks ago, push higher to hit these old highs here. All right, just enough to sweep, and then we come right back into the market, pushing hard to the downside. All right, that means the CAD is outperforming the US dollar. The US dollar again hit that area of supply that I showed you, and it's just continuing down from there. Now look at this range. All right, what do we do with trading ranges? We divide it into two, and if we divide it into two, the upper part of it and the lower part of it, this is discount, this is premium. All right, above the 50%, as you see with the Fibonacci retracement tool here, above the 50% is premium. That's premium price, and below the 50% is discount price. You want to take your longs from discount, you want to take your shorts from premium prices, right? And right now, price came back. If you got in, oh man, what the heck just happened? If you got in here, sorry, if you got in here, this was a great price to get in for a longer pullback. All right, but right now, price is in a pullback. I don't know why that keeps shifting like that. All right, right now, price is in a pullback, man. We're in a pullback, and price is coming down. So we got what we have to gauge is when will the pullback end. We'll start looking for that around the 50% area. We're still above the 50% area. All right. This is the area you want to see, gauge reactions. Price could go all the way down to the 705 to 786, no doubt about it. All right. And then pull back up. All right. But what we have to look for is there an area on this side of the fence, in the bullish leg, that price could come back to and turn around in? Yes, there is. All right, yes, there is. One, we have an area of fair value here. Boom, boom. This is the area of fair value price, and that intersects with the 705. That price could come right down to that and turn it. Price could come right down to that area and turn around. All right, but we also have this area right here. All right, I'm looking at this opposing candle as price is pushing back down, which is below the 50%. Price could hit that area and find that supply. So I'm definitely keeping my eye on the higher time frame, as this, come on, man, as this could be an area that price may want to find support. Okay, what's going on with me today? All right, so if I can make that, and what do I call that? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to keep my eye out as price comes back into into that area. But that's on the macro level. All right. If we go to the daily, you can see price is pulling back into. You can see this Friday candle may take out these highs from Thursday and Wednesday, tap the supply, and then come down and hit these sell side liquidity targets. And that's the scenario I'm looking for. Yeah, it could start from here, no doubt. All right. But I think it makes sense that price likes to see liquidity points right below areas of supply and demand, or right above supply and demand, and hit those liquidity points and mitigate those areas of supply and demand, and go in its intended direction. So that's what I'm looking for. And that area is 1.4258. All right, 1.4258. And I'm hoping that that plays out, because I believe this will be a high probability trade to the downside. Got it? Hope that explanation. If you have any questions on my explanations, please make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. All right, I would love to go over anything that I might have messed up the explanation on. Now, the Swiss, US dollar Swiss. You see this? I'm going to show you this. All right. This is not easy to trade. This is easy to trade. Higher high, higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. But when it starts doing this, all right, we break the high. All right, now we break the low. All right, we don't break the high, but we come so far back in this pullback, it's like a seek and destroy mission. All right, we don't break that high. We respect that high. When price comes back down, we don't break that low. We're still within this leg of structure. All right, we didn't break the high. We didn't break the low. What is the job of a high and low? The job of this low is to make a new high. When it doesn't make a new high, it usually ends up as liquidity. All right. The liquidity was not taken. It did not take that low on the next leg down. All right. This high failed to make a new low. It should be liquidated here, just like this should have been liquidated here. All right. It didn't happen. This is not easy to trade, folks. I understand. Trust me, I get it. All right. But these are weeks long. So you have time to make adjustments. Okay. This is the weekly time frame. But what price did do was take out this, all right, this buy to sell here. All right. This should have caused the market to hit it and then drop. All right, this is an area of supply, but it did not. All right, so what are we looking at? This is, when it's not obeying or respecting the rules, it can be difficult to trade. All right, now what do we have currently? Price has this area of supply. Of demand. All right, this is an area of fair value, really, and it starts with this opposing candle as price is above it. When price comes back to it, I'm expecting if price hits that area, it should find support to go for higher prices and finally take out these equal highs. These are all relative equal highs here. And you don't see this structure in this leg or in this leg. All right, so I'm looking for price to hold here and push for higher prices. Does that make sense to you? If it doesn't, you leave me a comment in the comment section. All right. Well, also there is inducement there at that low, and I'm looking for price to target that low into this refined area of demand at this candle right here. As long as price holds above that area, I'm looking for higher prices. But we have to wait for the reaction. We have to wait for price to hit this area and show a break of market structure to the upside. All right. So, and that's a little ways away. It might take all week for a price to get down there. Now, if we go to the daily, what do we see? All right. This is the higher time frame area of fair value, and we are just above it right now. And you can already see that I have marked out the areas where I believe price is going to take liquidity, right? You can see it right here. This is going to be because of the proximity to current price, I'm looking for price to take that out. I looked at this last week, that low, and if you remember, just go and review the forecast. We took out that low here, and I'm always glad to see that. But once price takes a low and pulls back, I'm looking for price to pull back into that bearish leg, like it did here, and hit an area of supply, which it did. Boom. All right. This is the buy before the sell. I'm looking for continuation for that sell off. All right, as the Swiss franc will outperform the U.S. dollar because the U.S. dollar is in a weakened state right now. So, but these things are heavily dependent on fundamentals and policy making with the especially in the U.S. government. So we'll see how it goes. But technically speaking, because we already took this low and price has pulled back, what am I looking at? What are we all looking at? We have a fair value gap here, and price could use that fair value gap to push into and then push away from for lower prices, as we are already bearish. Okay, we are in a pullback, folks. So, and the pullback has not shown any sign so whatsoever that it is over. So I'm waiting for price to hit that golden line, and we'll see if we start to get any signs that the pullback is over. All right, sells. All right, sells is what I'm talking about here. US dollar JPY is next. This is probably your strongest market. You should really, I'm bearish in this market, and you should put this on your favorites list. I'm going to mark it in gold because this is going to be a good market to trade from. I'm talking about the pound yen, the euro yen, the Swiss yen, the CAD yen, anything against the yen. All right, that's it. Why? All right, let's look at the weekly. You can see for weeks we've been heading down. All right, and what are we targeting? All right, you have this area. Look at this. You have this area of fair value getting ready to develop. All right, watch what I'm doing here. All right, watch what I'm doing. Look. All right, you see this? Sorry, what's going on? All right, you see this area here. Boom. This was an area of fair value. Price came back into the area of fair value. You expect the price to go higher. It didn't do that, right? It continued down to the protected low, and that's where we're at right now. We're close to taking that low out. Once that low is taken, I'm looking for price to pull back into the area of fair value that is left behind and continue lower to the sell side liquidity. Yeah. So, and what do we have here? We have two fair value gaps here and here that were totally disrespected. All right. And looks like we may be developing a bearish fair value gap. We don't have one all the way through. This one negated it, but the seller stepped in anyway and are bringing prices down to that sell side liquidity. Where are we headed? We're heading into this area here. All right, this is the sell before the buy up. All right, and I'm looking for price to come on down here, and maybe we might find support, maybe not, but I'm looking for a price to target that area. And we have two areas of sell side liquidity that we can target for the upcoming week. And if we go to the daily, you can see that Friday's candle almost negated the bearish fair value gap here, but those bearish fair value gaps are telling us what the order flow is. The order flow is bearish. All right, you can see a bearish fair value gap there, and then you can see a bearish fair value gap right here. And what did price do? Price came back up, didn't it? Tried to come up and touch that, and it would have been such a beautiful trade, but it didn't quite make it. Took out the previous high, but it didn't quite make it into that fair value gap. But price flushed anyway. We have another fair value gap. It opened up. So these displacements are telling us what the order flow is, and it's heading down. Let's look to make these sell side targets here as a reality. We're going into an old fair value gap here, and I don't like to use old fair value gaps as an area where price could potentially reverse from. No, but they usually represent an area where price will react to a fair value gap that was left behind, or an order block, and then price can continue down from that. But I'm looking for reaction areas like speed bumps. Okay. Now, I want to take a quick peek at the EURJPY. You see how much weaker it is compared to the US dollar JPY. See that low there? See this low here? Look at that. This is September 16th. All right. See that September 16th low? What was that about? All right. This is the September 16th low here. Look how close we are. All right. Look at these lows. This is a much weaker market. That's where you want to take your shorts. You want to take your shorts in the weaker market. This is weaker than the JPY. This is weaker than Swiss JPY. This is the weakest one. All right. This is the one that you want to take your trade in. If you want to take shorts in the yen pairs, all right, the yen FX pairs, all right, you can see that we've already taken this low, had a bullish reaction to it. When you take an important low, that's what you can expect. And price has continued bearishly from there, and you can see how the reaction is here. Oh man, you see how price pushed back up into that bearish fair value gap and then continued lower from there. That's the way you want to see it. All right, you want to see the bullish PD arrays on the other side. You want to see like this fair value gap here and this fair value gap here be disrespected with displacements like this bearish fair value gap, this bearish fair value gap. You want to see the displacements in the opposite direction, which support lower prices. And what are we targeting? Again, sell side liquidity is our target. You have to have a point for all of this. Why are we heading down? Because we want to hit those lower targets. This one will also show a I'm sorry, somebody's trying to call me. All right. We have a sell side liquidity target here. All right. So this is where this is the direction we're heading, and I'm pretty sure we're going to hit those this week. All right. That's from me to you. All right, you FX broker traders, you. All right. So now we're on the indices. Okay. Forex.com. You can see how Friday's candle just, I'm going to tell you, I hit a stop loss on this Friday candle. It happens. You know, I wasn't expecting such a strong push. I was looking for price to quite possibly come down into this area of fair value, this fair value, this bullish fair value gap here. I'm sorry. And I thought we had it going here, and then it came back down, showed respect here. I was like, what? Okay, we'll go ahead and continue high. No, it went down the other way, and I missed the move. I hit a stop loss, and then I missed this big move here. So when I'm not sure, I just don't take a trade. That's it. Now, what are we looking like for the next week? Previous weekly low is exposed. That's the previous weekly low here, and because we're so close to it, price could very well hit on down there. All right. I'm going to let Monday open and give me something. Let me see where a price might be headed. There is the potential for a fair value gap to develop here, and price could use it to tap into and then head towards lower prices. But all these big wicks here, uh, when I see those kind of wicks, I look for the 50% to be hit. Like this one was already hit. All right, and I want to see if it's going to be respected. All right, if we look at the weekly time frame, you can see we haven't reached this 50% here yet. All right, I'm looking to see if price will respect that if it gets down there, and as support, and then we can head towards higher prices. That's what I'm looking for. All right, but up until then, all right, that is essentially taking this previous weekly low. All right, but I'm looking also at what happened earlier when we saw that our price headed down with a lot of momentum. Look at this. Isn't that very similar to that? All right. And this happened on a Wednesday. All right. What happened? Price turned around. Price turned around right, y'all. All right. Get rid of that. Price turned around right, here. Turn around, push, 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 and then we went higher. All right. This was not a great time to be trading, but finally we picked up some steam going in the other direction. We had a hard push to the downside here, and then price turned around and pushed higher. So I'm going to wait Monday. I think this is the smartest move I could make. Just highlighting caution. Okay, and I want you to bear something in mind. We have not broken the bullish trend. You understand? We have not broken the bullish trend. When we start breaking low, when we start breaking lows here at what is this? 5,900. When we start breaking these lows, it's signaling market structure shifts. Then that exposes these lows. All right. And once we break that low, this is a break of structure, and I'll be looking for price to continue down from there for a longer term pullback. But we're not in that zone. We're not in that area. We're not close to those conditions right now. So while this is, was a nasty day, it could turn around really quick. So I'm looking for the reactions once price takes these lows. If price takes these lows, I'm looking for the reactions here. If I can get this together, I'm looking for the reactions here. All right, because when price takes lows, usually that means a pullback is in order, and we're going to see how it reacts to the fair value gaps that are developed there. But I'm looking for that sweep, and we should get that between Monday and Tuesday, and we'll see if price makes these. Sorry. If price makes this fair value gap, this bearish fair value gap here, I want to see if we get a push through, because there was a big fair value gap over here. If you remember, there was a big fair value gap here, and price just pushed through. Right? It did not respect these bearish fair value gaps here, and just pushed through, and just that's it. Once we find the direction, then we can plan properly. But I'm looking for price to give me some reaction at that fair value gap after Monday. I think that's the best way to go. NASDAQ, same deal. All right. You can see we're close. We're at near the 50% of this candle here, this candle wick here. Price could very well turn around and respect that candle wick and find support there. I'm looking to see if that happens Monday, Tuesday. All right. This is the previous weekly low here. Are we going to take that low and then turn around? And we're going to create bearish fair value gaps here. there's a bunch of questions to find out the answers to between Monday, Tuesday, and even into Wednesday before. But I'm not interested in taking shorts. No, I'm not interested in taking shorts into that. No, I want to see. I'm more interested in seeing bullish setups until we start breaking lows like these here, which would be a significant market structure shift. All right, if we go past this low, really, which is past the wick 50% area of that long wick there, we start closing past that. That's when I start thinking I'll start looking for shorts. Right now, I'm not looking for any shorts. No way, not now. All right, and the US 30, all right, which is the Dow. I like this area here. Why? Why do I like that area? We look at it on a weekly. You can see, look at it on weekly, you can see that area is an area of fair value. Right? There was a buy, a sell before the buy. Actually, the area starts up here. All right. This is the where the selling started before the buy up. All right. We didn't take this high yet. We did not take this high. If this high was taken here, then this low did its job. The job isn't over yet. We pulled up. We had an impulsive move up. We had a corrective move, and I'm looking for price to find support at the order block, at the fair value area, and we'll see if we can get higher prices from that. Again, we're going to see fair value gaps, bearish fair value gap develop, and price may want to continue down lower from that. All right, we have to see what happens Monday and Tuesday, but I'm going to be reactive and not get ahead of it. There's a bullish fair value gap here, and it led to another bullish fair value gap here, as you can see, and that one was disrespected, but this one could very well be respected. There's a low, a liquidity low right before the order block here starts. So I could very well see price come and take that low, fill the fair value gap, and tap into this this order block, and we can see higher prices from there. So I'm definitely more inclined to take buys in the indices than sells. All right, just bear in mind that we are still bullish. We haven't broken any structure to the downside. Once price takes that low out, then I'll be looking at targeting these lows. But until that happens, I'm still looking for buy setups. Got it? Gold. Got a bunch of notes here, but what we can tell is on the weekly, you can see for weeks we've been very bullish, and what you can see here is a sell for the buy. This area is an area of fair value. If price comes back down here, I'm looking for it to find support anyway. All right. What we're not seeing is the areas like here where we have fair value gaps. All right. We have a fair value gap. Do I expect price to come all the way back down here? No, I don't. I don't expect price to come all the way back down here. But if it does, I'll be ready for buy setups. What we need to do is look at the daily. That's quite a distance from there now. What we need to do is look at the daily, and you can see this area here. You see the golden line there, and that's a bullish order block. And this line here is the market structure shift. And as long as we have an area of fair value that price pushes past and then comes back into, then we could look for higher prices to come. I don't know what happened to that arrow, okay? But we have to look closer. We have to look closer into that daily, looking for higher prices, we got to look at the 4 hour. All right. Now, I said I was going to show you what this meant, this thing here. All right. I got this from the idea for it from my guy Fabio. All right, does supply and demand. You should go check out his videos. Pretty informed and pretty sharp. All right, but what he likes to do, and what I like to do, is take this area. All right, this is a come on, man. All right, this area here is an area of consolidation, and you don't want to get in the middle and start looking for buy zones and sell zones inside of that, because they're not respected quite often. So what you want to do is get your Fibonacci tool, right, and go from the high to the low of that area. All right, here's the low, here's the high, and mark it off 25%. If you want to take a look at this, 25, 75, and 1. Those are my settings. All right. Top 25%, bottom 25%. What happens is when price comes to those areas, you can see how it respects it. You can take a trade from there, and then it goes down to the 25% area. All right. And then it goes back up to the high 25% area, and then it comes back down to the low 25% area. That 25% area is a pretty good area to look for buys or sells. All right, if you want to do a range play, if you want to trade the range, this is the way to do it, in my opinion. All right, and you don't want to take trades anywhere in this area. All right, in the middle. All right, the middle 50%. You want the top 25 or the bottom 25. You don't want to take trades from the middle, because price will do this on you and your stop loss is toast. Okay, so what am I looking for anyway? Or gold. You see how gold pushed down and then pushed up? The last area we touched was the sweeping of the lows. Price come back down to that 25% area, and we launched here. Didn't pull all the way back. We have a respect candle here. You see that that golden line there that represented the larger weekly order block area is still being respected. So I'm looking for further upside from this area. All right. Do I want to take it from here? No, I don't. I want to see price give me a setup, and you would have to look for it on the 1 minute. I mean, on the 1 hour, the 4 1 hour and lower time frames, because this is a mess. All right. To try and look for trades in. What I want to see is this. I want to see this buy side liquidity taken pushed into that to those highs, and a pullback. All right, this pullback, as long as it stays above that high, all right, you see how it's respecting this opposing candle. Price came back to that opposing candle and started pushing higher. This is why I like those. I like to point out it's an opposing candle. All right. Like when price gets above or below those opposing candles, it comes back to it, and it usually finds support and resistance areas. Okay. I'm looking for price to continue higher. All right. And this is you see these sell to buy wicks here. All right. You can go down further into the time frames, and you might find an area where price could come back to find support and go higher. I'm not going to go any further than the 1 hour. I'm already doing more than I should right now. But if this area turns out, if I can just get it to right, if this area turns out to be an area of fair value, that will make a great area for price to come back to and find support and continue higher. That's what I'm looking for. The hint of it is already here. If I can do this, there you go. That's the hint of it right there. That it created this area of demand, pushed higher, came back. You saw that price respected this order block, respected the area of discount in this trading range. All right, came back below the 50%, and then we see two bullish candles. hopefully it continues higher. As long as this low remains intact, all right, I would be looking for buys. All right, once price starts to break lows, like when price starts to break these lows here, as it pulls up, it pulls back, that would be a market structure shift, a bearish one, and I'm not taking buys on while it's doing that. All right, that would expose these lows. All right, and I'm not until price pulls back and then gives us a opposing market structure shift, two of them, 1, 2. That's when I start looking for more buys. That's when I feel confident about taking buys. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay. If we look at silver, silver has been interesting. If we go to the weekly, you can see it's been bullish for weeks, but not the kind of bullish that gold has been, because you can see it's been kind of checkered, right? But for weeks, it's been bullish, and we have a recent market structure shift here. Yeah, there's a lot of wicks going up there. It's like it's not sure it wants to go higher. I don't know what's that about, but I do like the bullishness of it. That's why my bias is bullish. It's choppy, wicky, dangerous. All right, but dangerous to stop losses, but that's the way it's running. Okay, so what do we have as of recent days? We had that a very bearish Friday. It followed the indices, didn't it? All right, and it just barely took out the Wednesday's low to create a low for the week. All right, I'm looking for price this week to take out that low, come to this extreme area of demand, and continue and give us bullish prices. I'm looking for price to find support here and get higher. Now, if we go further, you can see that, yeah, that we have a bearish fair value gap there, but that's only one. It's isolated. We see price pushed down, pulled up, and then came back down. I'm looking for price to find support around this sell before the buy, and then we haven't come back into the area yet. This is a good area to look for a turnaround. All right, that pullback to end, and then we can target these highs. In my opinion, should price take out that low, then these lows become exposed. I'm not looking for shorts until I see a significant break of market structure. If we take out this low here, that would represent a pretty harsh break, and I might start looking for sells after that, depending on how this comes down. If we start to see order flow indicators like of bearish fair value gaps opening up, then we know that order flow is definitely shifted to the downside. But we don't know that now. No, we don't. We had a market structure shift here. Prices pushing down into a demand zone. I'm looking for price to continue higher. That's it. That makes sense. All right. If you have a question or comment, leave it in the comment section down below this video. All right. This is my last indice. My last chart for US oil. If we go down to the weekly, it's been bearish, man. And my bias is bearish. All right. Yeah. Look at this choppiness. It's not been cool. All right. Then we had on the end of December, price started to push up. We had a market structure shift here. All right. And I was like, oh, everything's looking bullish. Maybe we can start taking some bullish moves, but I'm looking for a pullback. That pullback came. All right. And did we see bearish indication that the order flow was bearish? Yes, we did. So a fair value gap to the downside here, and we have it pushing down. But is it really pushing down? Look at these wicks. Is it really hard pushing down? Look at those wicks, man. Why is the prices of oil heading down? What's going on in the Middle East? What is going on with Ukraine and the US? All right. and Russia, Russia's catching some good winds. All right, and so the wind is shifting for Russia and its oil exports, and that has an impact on the global oil prices. If more oil is heading into the market, the price is going to be low, and uh, if when tensions rise, that's when the oil goes higher. All right, I'm looking for lower prices. I've been talking about oil going lower prices since it was over here. But are we going to crash through this area here? We're about to look and find out. The technicals are not going to tell you that this is a market that is very sensitive to fundamentals. All right, but we have to look at the technicals to see where are the possible areas that it could turn around. All right, you see how the market closed on Friday with that very bearish candle here, and we are heading towards the previous weekly low. We have a buy to the sell. If we get the continuation here, I'm looking for price to pull back up into the fair value gap that will be left behind here. Boom. All right, if price comes back up into that, we can see lower prices heading down to this liquidity low here, and that could be our first target. All right, we're going to find out how things are going to transpire Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday and Friday. That's when we'll see some real action. But keep your eye on the news, and we'll see what the U.S. president is going to say or do in regards to Ukraine and tariffs and all. And because you'll see the market is very sensitive to it. Okay, now that's it. If we go back to the U.S. dollar, in summary, I would see more bearish price action coming in the week ahead, which would mean its counterparts, the euro, the pound, and the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, Aussie dollar, and the Japanese yen, all going in the opposite direction. All right, finding their own varying degrees of strength. And I want you to make sure you put some special attention to your yen pairs, all right, because the yen is going to gain some strength this week and next week, and they have this talk of them raising their interest rate that's going to further strengthen them to the upside, which would mean that it'll be outperforming its counterparts. Okay. Trade carefully this week. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. I really appreciate that. I'm going to make sure that if you leave a comment or whatever, I'm going to make sure to answer any comment or question. I will see you in the next video, and thank you for watching. May profits be upon you.